Imagine a world where the unmistakable rumble of a Harley Davidson motorcycle is just a distant echo. It feels unthinkable, doesn't it? Yet, the story of this iconic brand reminds us that even the most enduring legacies can be tested by economic shifts, global trade dynamics, and changing consumer preferences. Today, we're diving into Harley Davidson and what Donald Trump has planned to destroy their legacy. Harley Davidson isn't just a manufacturer, it's a movement. Founded in Milwaukee in 1903, Harley built motorcycles that were more than machines. They were statements. With their iconic V-twin engines, signature growl, and rugged design, Harley bikes became synonymous with individuality and adventure. For millions of riders, owning a Harley means joining a community bonded by the thrill of the open road. Over the decades, the brand transcended transportation to represent a lifestyle of freedom, camaraderie, and American pride. From Hollywood films to cross-country rallies, Harley Davidson has cemented its place in the cultural zeitgeist. But legacy alone doesn't guarantee survival. In an increasingly globalized and competitive marketplace, Harley has faced challenges that threaten its iconic status. From the beginning, Harley Davidson's journey has been defined by resilience. The company's bikes appeal to a fiercely loyal customer base, but they've also faced intense competition. Japanese brands like Honda and Yamaha revolutionized the market with affordable, technologically advanced bikes, while European rivals like BMW catered to premium, high-performance segments. These competitors pressured Harley to innovate while staying true to its heritage. For many customers, Harley represents more than just a product. It's a piece of American craftsmanship. Balancing modern demands with traditional appeal has been a constant challenge. The 1980s brought Harley Davidson to its knees. Japanese bikes flooded the market, offering affordability and reliability that Harley struggled to match. The company teetered on bankruptcy, facing an existential crisis. Enter President Ronald Reagan. In a controversial move, his administration imposed a 45% tariff on large Japanese motorcycles. The policy gave Harley breathing room to restructure and refocus on what it did best: building high-quality, uniquely American motorcycles. By the end of the decade, Harley Davidson emerged stronger, with a renewed emphasis on craftsmanship and innovation. This moment marked a turning point, proving that Harley could adapt and overcome. But not every instance of government intervention would bring the same fortune. Fast forward to the Trump administration, where trade wars and tariffs created a perfect storm for Harley Davidson. In an effort to protect American manufacturers, the U.S. imposed tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, key materials in Harley's production. The resulting cost increases strained the company's bottom line. The backlash didn't stop there. In retaliation, the European Union slapped a 31% tariff on US-made motorcycles. For Harley, this was a devastating blow, as Europe represented its second-largest market. Faced with skyrocketing costs, Harley made the controversial decision to move some production overseas, particularly to Thailand. The move was a pragmatic response to avoid EU tariffs, but it sparked outrage among loyalists and even prompted public criticism from President Trump, who accused Harley of abandoning its American roots. Calls for boycotts followed, fueling debates about patriotism, globalization, and corporate survival. At its core, Harley Davidson's struggles highlight a deeper question: what does it mean to be an American company in a global economy? For Harley's most devoted fans, the brand's identity is rooted in its American craftsmanship. The idea of shifting production overseas felt like a betrayal. Yet, for Harley Davidson, it was a matter of survival. The company had to navigate rising domestic costs, retaliatory tariffs, and the realities of competing in a globalized market. This tension between tradition and innovation has defined Harley's journey in recent years. Could it remain a symbol of American pride while adapting to a rapidly changing world? Harley Davidson isn't alone in facing these challenges. Iconic brands like John Deere have similarly struggled with the ripple effects of tariffs and trade wars. John Deere, a symbol of American agriculture, faced rising steel costs and shrinking international markets. Yet, the company weathered the storm through strategic diversification, seeking alternative supply chains, and exploring new markets. Innovation also played a key role. Deere invested heavily in automation and advanced technologies, creating products that appealed to evolving consumer needs. These strategies allowed it to offset some of the negative effects of tariffs and maintain its competitive edge. For Harley, the lesson is clear. Adaptability and innovation are essential. The company must explore new strategies to overcome the challenges of a volatile global economy. So, what's next for Harley Davidson? Here are 3 key paths the company might explore. Expanding manufacturing in key markets like Europe and Asia could help Harley sidestep tariffs and maintain competitive pricing. By producing bikes closer to its customers, Harley can strengthen its international presence without sacrificing affordability. With the rise of electric vehicles, Harley has an opportunity to capture a new generation of riders. Models like the Livewire show promise, but doubling down on electric innovation could redefine Harley's identity for the future. Beyond motorcycles, Harley could deepen its presence as a lifestyle brand. Apparel, accessories, and exclusive experiences like curated riding tours or events could help diversify its revenue streams and reinforce its cultural appeal. Harley Davidson's story is one of resilience. From its near collapse in the 1980s to the challenges of today, the company has shown a remarkable ability to adapt. Yet, the road ahead demands more than just survival. It requires transformation. The challenge isn't unique to Harley. Legacy brands across industries face the same question: how do you honor your past while embracing the future? For Harley, the answer lies in finding a balance. By staying true to its core values while innovating for modern markets, it can navigate this uncertain terrain. What do you think? Can Harley Davidson overcome these challenges and reclaim its dominance in the motorcycle world? Or are the pressures of globalization and economic shifts too great?
We've gotten emails from viewers, some farmers in the Midwest who've said, look, what they worry about is actually that other countries are going to say, well, we don't want your exports, or we're going to tariff your exports. And so that it creates this sort of a race either to the bottom or to the top in terms of cost.
Caterpillar, a name that embodies strength, resilience, and the very foundation of America's industrial prowess. From expansive highways to towering skyscrapers, if you've witnessed any monumental construction, chances are Caterpillar played a pivotal role. But what happens when this industrial behemoth faces challenges not from competitors or market dynamics, but from policies crafted within its own nation? Today, we're delving into an unexpected chapter in Caterpillar's story. To appreciate the gravity of the situation, we must first understand Caterpillar's significance. This isn't just any corporation. It's the world's foremost manufacturer of construction and mining equipment, diesel engines, and industrial machinery. Those colossal yellow machines, excavating, hauling, and leveling terrain. That's Caterpillar's specialty. The company doesn't merely supply equipment, it fuels some of the most ambitious construction endeavors globally. Beyond construction, Caterpillar's machinery is crucial in mining, oil, and gas, and even power generation sectors. Think of Caterpillar as the unseen force propelling progress. Whether it's erecting a skyscraper in New York or mining resources in the Australian outback, Caterpillar's equipment is indispensable. Amidst today's global economic policy shifts and uncertainties, Caterpillar faces new challenges. How might decisions made in Washington, D.C. impact this quintessential American company? In analyzing this situation, we must consider indicators that reflect both the US and global economies. While Caterpillar may not serve as a leading economic indicator, it holds significant value as a lagging one, confirming trends like slowed construction spending observed by its peers. This insight helps determine whether industry slowdowns are widespread or isolated incidents affecting specific companies. Caterpillar isn't merely a corporate entity, it's a cornerstone of the US economy. With operations in over 190 countries, its global footprint is vast, yet its roots are deeply American. Employment statistics reveal that Caterpillar provides thousands of US jobs, from factory production to engineering and technical support for advanced machinery. These roles are well-paying, skilled positions that support local economies and countless American families. But Caterpillar's influence extends beyond its own workforce. It sits at the nexus of a supply chain encompassing parts manufacturers, transportation companies, and more. This machinery is deployed in projects enhancing intercontinental connectivity, building new roads, upgrading ports, and developing airports. With the US government's focus on infrastructure investment, it's no surprise that Caterpillar is poised to transform technical blueprints into tangible structures. Additionally, Caterpillar's exports of US-made construction equipment contribute significantly to the nation's foreign currency earnings. These exports not only enhance Caterpillar's financial performance, but also help reduce the trade deficit, reinforcing America's position as a global trade leader. In sum, Caterpillar is not just important, but critical to the US economy. It's nearly impossible to discuss heavy equipment without mentioning John Deere, a name equally renowned, commanding its own market segment. While both are industrial giants, they operate in distinct arenas. Caterpillar is synonymous with civil construction and mining equipment, tackling large-scale projects like roads, bridges, and skyscrapers. In contrast, John Deere is a leading manufacturer of agricultural machinery. Think corn harvesters and tractors, playing a pivotal role in global food production. The two companies intersect in areas like construction and farm equipment, timber, and energy generation machinery. However, Caterpillar's focus on mining and heavy engineering gives it an edge in markets where sheer power and durability are paramount. Conversely, John Deere excels in agricultural technology, enhancing efficiency and productivity in farming. Both companies are industry leaders, often with Caterpillar ahead in overall sales due to its expansive global operations. While John Deere concentrates on the substantial US agricultural market, Caterpillar's broader reach extends its audience worldwide. Both have pioneered advancements in technologies like autonomous machinery and AI-like systems. Yet, they face common challenges, international trade issues, economic policies, and more. Tariffs pose significant problems, leading us to the impending storm. Recently, it was announced that John Deere plans to move a substantial portion of its manufacturing to Mexico. In response, former President Donald Trump issued a stark warning. "I'm notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything you want to sell into the United States." This declaration underscores the potential impact of protectionist trade policies on companies like Caterpillar and John Deere. Should Trump, after regaining the presidency in 2024, reimpose tariffs on critical imports like steel and aluminum, as he did during his first term, companies like Caterpillar could face direct cost increases. Steel and aluminum are vital for Caterpillar's machinery. Price hikes could significantly affect their bottom line. The repercussions wouldn't stop at higher production costs. Retaliatory tariffs from other nations could make Caterpillar's products pricier in key export markets across Europe, Asia, and South America. In a scenario where John Deere faces fewer tariffs or mitigates their effects, it could gain a competitive advantage. John Deere's emphasis on agricultural equipment, might shield it from some tariff impacts hitting Caterpillar harder. Consequently, Caterpillar could lose market share both internationally and domestically. The stakes in this scenario are immense. Potential trade policies could lead to job cuts, factory closures, or reduced investment in research and development for Caterpillar and its rivals. Caterpillar's success relies on its intricate, far-reaching supply chain. From raw materials to finished machinery, the company depends on a vast network of suppliers and logistics partners. This interconnected system ensures components like engines, hydraulics, and electronics converge seamlessly to produce Caterpillar's high-performance equipment. Over decades, Caterpillar has honed its supply chain, strategically locating suppliers globally to meet diverse market demands. Consistent production, timely deliveries, and exceptional customer service are pillars of its global leadership in heavy machinery. However, this robust system is susceptible to disruptions. Tariffs could destabilize this delicate balance. Increased import taxes on key suppliers would escalate costs throughout the chain, leading to production delays, higher prices for customers, and potential damage to Caterpillar's reputation for reliability. In industries dependent on just-in-time inventory and precise scheduling, minor delays or cost increases can cascade through the supply chain, impacting everything from inventory management to delivery timelines. Caterpillar's global presence means it must navigate not only U.S. tariffs, but also trade policies in regions like Europe and Asia. Restrictions on exporting critical components could hinder production schedules in an industry where downtime is costly. Such disruptions could be catastrophic, halting essential goods movement and causing immediate financial losses and long-term operational challenges. Beyond tariffs, issues like material shortages, logistical bottlenecks, and geopolitical tensions pose risks. While Caterpillar has weathered past challenges, an increasingly volatile trade environment can strain even the most efficient supply chains. For farmers operating on thin margins, the impact could be devastating. Machinery isn't a luxury, it's critical for planting, harvesting, and maintaining crops. Tariff-induced price spikes might force farmers to delay purchases or scale back operations. Reliance on outdated equipment could increase breakdown risks and lower productivity, hindering competitiveness in global markets where efficiency is crucial. Missing out on technological innovations could further impede long-term growth. In construction, the stakes are equally high. Companies often work within tight budgets and deadlines, bidding on large projects well in advance. Escalating machinery costs due to tariffs could disrupt budgets, delay projects, or force companies to abandon bids, affecting vital infrastructure developments and slowing economic growth. The uncertainty surrounding tariffs compounds these challenges. Businesses in agriculture and construction face difficulty in planning, with unpredictable policies affecting expense forecasting and strategic decisions. Fears of price hikes might push companies to consider alternative machinery brands, but switching from trusted names like Caterpillar carries risks in reliability and performance. For the tractor industry, uncertainties could intensify if John Deere faces similar tariffs. Both Caterpillar and John Deere might be impacted, forcing farmers and construction firms to weigh costs between brands. As Trump's presidency unfolds, both industries must remain vigilant, adapting to policies that could reshape their futures. Caterpillar's financial health has long been a benchmark in the industrial sector, consistently delivering strong earnings, dividends, and innovation investments. However, challenges like tariffs, repair controversies, and supply chain disruptions raise concerns about future performance. Under current leadership, Caterpillar has pursued strategic pivots, diversifying products, expanding in emerging markets, investing in automation and electric machinery to buffer against external shocks. These require significant upfront investment, potentially straining finances short-term. Globally, Caterpillar's challenges could impact economies in Europe, Asia, Latin America. Countries relying on raw material exports or heavy machinery could face exacerbated economic difficulties with a Caterpillar slowdown. With all these challenges, some wonder, is Caterpillar the next major U.S. company to face a crisis? While not imminent, the question isn't unfounded given the current economic and political climate. Trump's return introduces risks like increased tariffs on foreign machinery, potentially impacting Caterpillar and competitors like John Deere. Escalating trade tensions could dramatically affect these industrial giants, pushing them toward crisis if not carefully managed. To be clear, Caterpillar isn't on the brink of collapse. It remains a field leader with a strong brand and loyal customers. However, tariffs, repair restrictions, and supply chain issues under Trump's administration pose serious concerns. Increased tariffs on foreign machinery could spike market prices, pressuring farmers and construction firms dependent on these machines. Backlash from customers could erode market dominance for both Caterpillar and John Deere. Ultimately, the question isn't whether Caterpillar will survive. It almost certainly will, but whether it can thrive amid new challenges. For a company that's been an American industrial cornerstone for nearly a century, it's a critical inquiry. Will Trump's tariffs and John Deere's competitive edge alter the game? Only time will tell. As we contemplate the future of global trade and industrial hurdles, we ask, can Caterpillar withstand the pressures of tariffs, repair restrictions, and supply chain disruptions, especially with Donald Trump back in the White House? The intensified competition in agricultural and heavy machinery sectors will compel both companies to adapt or risk lagging behind. John Deere's reliance on global supply chains and restrictive repair policies could heighten customer dissatisfaction in an already strained industry. If tariffs elevate machinery costs, both firms could face customer backlash, impacting long-term success and market share. In these uncertain times, the futures of Caterpillar and John Deere hang in the balance. Will Trump's tariffs undermine or bolster these industrial giants? Their ability to adapt to evolving economic and political landscapes will determine the outcome. John Deere's controversial practices, which exploit the loyalty of American farmers, have recently come to light, sending shockwaves through the agricultural sector. These tactics, widely viewed as a betrayal of the company's loyal customer base, could signal a decline for the iconic American brand. Never before has the farming industry faced such a collective outcry against one of its most trusted companies. Farmers are outraged, lawmakers are demanding accountability, and investors are questioning their stakes in the corporation. In today's episode, we'll take a deep dive into the controversies surrounding John Deere, revealing how this cherished American institution is jeopardizing its reputation in pursuit of profit. Stay tuned as we examine the unfolding story that has shaken the agricultural world to its core. For over a century, John Deere has been synonymous with reliability and innovation in agricultural machinery. Its high-quality equipment has supported generations of farmers, earning their loyalty and admiration. This devotion is so strong that many farmers proudly declare they bleed green, a nod to Deere's signature color. But this unwavering allegiance has created an environment where John Deere appears to have shifted its priorities. Rather than rewarding the trust of its customers, the company has seemingly chosen to exploit it, putting corporate profits above the needs of the farming community. A key indicator of this shift lies in Deere's pricing strategy, which positions it at the high end of the agricultural equipment market. A closer look at the numbers reveals just how much more farmers are paying for the John Deere name. For instance, the John Deere ADR series tractors, which offer between 230 and 410 horsepower, typically cost between $300,000 and $500,000, depending on the features selected. In comparison, Case IH's Magnum 340 tractor with similar horsepower is more affordable, priced between $270,000 and $350,000. AGCO's Fendt 900 series tractors, while slightly higher in cost than Case IH, start around $350,000 and increase with added features, making them competitive alternatives to Deere. This pricing disparity isn't limited to tractors. It extends to other categories such as combines. Deere's X9 series combines, while top performers in their class, come with a hefty price tag ranging from $800,000 to $1.2 million. In contrast, Case IH's 250 series axial flow combines are priced more affordably, between $600,000 and $900,000. Similarly, AGCO's Massey Ferguson Ideal combines range from $650,000 to $1 million, depending on their configuration. Deere's consistent pattern of premium pricing has led many to believe that the company is more focused on maximizing its bottom line than supporting the farmers who rely on its products. While loyal customers have historically been willing to pay a premium for quality, the current pricing strategy has raised serious concerns about whether that loyalty is being taken for granted. But pricing is just the tip of the iceberg. John Deere's repair policies have sparked even greater outrage. For years, the company restricted farmers' ability to repair their own equipment, effectively forcing them to rely on Deere's authorized service providers. This policy created significant challenges for farmers, who often faced costly delays when their equipment broke down during critical periods. One farmer from Illinois summed up the frustration, saying, "If I knew what sensor was bad in that combine, I could fix it in 5 minutes. But without the software, it's impossible to know what's wrong." Deere's policy required farmers to contact the company for repairs, often incurring high costs for service calls and labor. The inability to make timely repairs led to financial losses, as idle equipment meant missed opportunities during planting and harvesting seasons. Farmers also criticized Deere's refusal to provide the diagnostic tools needed for independent repairs, further cementing the company's control over the repair process. This approach generated widespread resentment and eventually led to lawsuits and public pressure. In response to mounting criticism, Deere announced a shift in its repair policy, granting farmers the long-sought right to repair their own equipment. This move was hailed as a victory for farmers, but the implementation has been far from smooth. Senator Elizabeth Warren recently accused Deere of failing to uphold its commitments, stating, "Deere's impaired tools and inadequate disclosures hinder farmers from repairing their equipment." According to Warren, the company has not updated its manuals to provide farmers with the necessary guidance for repairs, leaving many skeptical about Deere's intentions. The lack of transparency and meaningful support has led to speculation that Deere's initial reluctance to allow independent repairs was driven by the significant revenue it generated from repair services. Reports suggest that Deere earns 3 to 6 times more from repairs than from equipment sales. By maintaining control over repairs, the company has been able to maximize its profits at the expense of farmers. This business model has drawn sharp criticism from both farmers and lawmakers, who view it as an abuse of power. Adding to these frustrations, Deere's increasing reliance on advanced technology has raised concerns about data ownership and privacy. Modern John Deere equipment is equipped with sophisticated sensors and software that collect detailed information on various aspects of farming, including soil conditions, crop health, and equipment performance. While this technology promises to enhance efficiency, it has left farmers questioning who owns the data generated on their fields. Many argue that this information, gathered through years of investment and effort, should belong to the farmers. However, Deere's lack of transparency has fueled fears that the company could leverage or sell this data, potentially disadvantageous to individual farms. Deere's recent partnership with SpaceX to use the Starlink network for improved connectivity has also introduced new cybersecurity risks. While the collaboration aims to enhance equipment functionality, it raises questions about the security of sensitive data. A breach could expose critical farming information or disrupt operations during key periods, compounding the challenges farmers already face. Environmental practices have become another point of contention for John Deere. The company has pledged to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions, water usage, and waste. But critics argue that its initiatives fall short of addressing the broader ecological impacts of its equipment. Deere's precision agriculture technologies, such as its Blue River see and spray system, are designed to reduce herbicide use by targeting weeds more accurately. However, these technologies do little to address the long-term effects of pesticide dependency, which can harm biodiversity and degrade soil health. Additionally, Deere's approach to sustainability has been criticized for promoting monoculture farming, which often relies on high pesticide applications. While the company has set ambitious environmental targets, including recycling 75% of its waste and designing equipment with life cycle sustainability in mind, these efforts are seen as insufficient to tackle the larger ecological challenges associated with modern farming practices. Perhaps the most troubling aspect of Deere's operations is its monopolistic behavior. As of 2024, John Deere controls over 40% of the U.S. market for tractors and agricultural machinery, giving it significant influence over pricing and repair policies. This market dominance has left farmers with limited choices, forcing many to remain loyal to Deere despite their frustrations. Instead of fostering innovation, Deere has focused on acquisitions, buying out competitors to consolidate its position and stifle competition. This strategy has allowed Deere to maintain its grip on the market, but it has also led to higher costs and fewer alternatives for farmers. By prioritizing shareholder profits over customer satisfaction, Deere risks alienating the very community that has supported it for generations. Despite its many controversies, the company still has time to turn things around. Greater transparency, fair repair policies, and a stronger commitment to sustainability could help restore trust and ensure its long-term success. Ultimately, Deere's future hinges on its ability to listen to farmers and adapt to their needs. The company's legacy is built on the loyalty of the farming community, and it must prioritize their interests to remain a leader in the agricultural industry. Stay tuned as we continue to uncover the challenges and opportunities facing this iconic brand. Donald Trump warned John Deere executives that he would drastically reshape their financial situation if they moved manufacturing operations overseas. For over a century, John Deere has stood as an emblem of American agriculture, synonymous with quality, innovation, and resilience. However, in recent years, the company has faced growing concerns about its future. Many are questioning whether this could mark the beginning of the end for one of America's most iconic brands. While the company faces multiple challenges, many critics argue that policies introduced during Trump's presidency, particularly tariffs, have been a significant factor in John Deere's mounting struggles. In this comprehensive analysis, we will explore the impact of these tariffs on John Deere, its customers, and the agricultural industry as a whole, and whether they could push the company closer to bankruptcy. Donald Trump made his position clear when John Deere announced plans to move some manufacturing operations out of the United States. Trump threatened a 200% tariff on any John Deere products manufactured overseas, and sold back into the United States. His goal with tariffs was to protect American industries by making foreign goods more expensive and encouraging consumers to buy domestically produced products. On paper, this policy appeared to align with John Deere's interests. As a company deeply rooted in the heartland of America, John Deere seemed poised to benefit from these policies that prioritized domestic manufacturing and sought to strengthen American jobs. Initially, these tariffs appeared to create an opportunity for John Deere. By increasing the cost of foreign-made machinery, the price gap between John Deere's products and those of its overseas competitors narrowed. This theoretically gave John Deere a competitive edge in the U.S. market. Farmers, the company's primary customer base, were expected to see John Deere as a more attractive option compared to foreign alternatives. Many believed this could create a golden opportunity for John Deere to dominate the agricultural machinery market and boost its revenues during a time of rising global demand for farming equipment. However, the reality of the situation turned out to be far more complicated than anticipated. While the tariffs were designed to provide an advantage to companies like John Deere, they also introduced a range of unintended consequences. Farmers, already cautious about making large investments in expensive equipment, became even more hesitant in the face of economic uncertainty. For many farmers, purchasing a new tractor, combine, or other machinery from John Deere represents a significant financial commitment. They need confidence in the stability of their income and the broader agricultural market to make such decisions. Unfortunately, the tariffs disrupted this confidence, creating a volatile economic environment that made farmers reluctant to invest in new equipment. One of the most immediate and significant effects of the tariffs was the rising cost of raw materials. John Deere relies heavily on global supply chains to source components for its machinery, including essential materials like steel and aluminum. When the United States imposed tariffs on these imports, the cost of production for John Deere increased substantially. To offset these rising costs, John Deere was forced to raise the prices of its equipment. While this was necessary to maintain profitability, it created a ripple effect that hurt both the company and its customers. Farmers, already operating on razor-thin profit margins, found it increasingly difficult to afford John Deere's higher-priced equipment. This led to a noticeable decline in sales, further exacerbating the challenges facing the company. The situation was further complicated by international retaliation against Trump's tariffs. Key trading partners, including China, responded with their own tariffs targeting American goods. These retaliatory measures had a particularly severe impact on the U.S. agricultural sector, which relies heavily on exports to global markets. Crops like soybeans and corn, staples of American farming, faced reduced demand in international markets as countries like China imposed higher tariffs on these products. As a result, many American farmers experienced a significant drop in income. This further diminished their ability to invest in new machinery, directly impacting John Deere's bottom line. The combination of rising production costs and declining demand from farmers created a perfect storm for John Deere. The company found itself squeezed on both sides, with increased expenses and reduced revenue. In an effort to address these challenges, John Deere announced plans to shift some of its manufacturing operations to Mexico. This decision, while financially motivated, sparked backlash from both the public and political leaders. Trump's reaction was swift and pointed, threatening the company with a 200% tariff on any products manufactured in Mexico and sold in the United States. This controversy highlighted the broader difficulties John Deere faced in navigating both domestic and international economic pressures. While the financial challenges were significant, the tariffs also had long-term implications for John Deere's ability to innovate. Innovation has historically been a cornerstone of John Deere's success, enabling the company to lead the agricultural machinery industry with cutting-edge advancements. From autonomous tractors to precision farming tools, John Deere has consistently set the standard for technological innovation in agriculture. However, the financial strain caused by the tariffs limited John Deere's ability to invest in research and development. Without adequate funding for innovation, John Deere risked falling behind its competitors. The slowdown in innovation at John Deere has far-reaching consequences. Farmers rely on advanced technology to improve efficiency, manage resources, and address challenges such as sustainability. If John Deere cannot provide farmers with the tools they need to stay competitive, the company risks losing market share to competitors who can. This not only threatens John Deere's position as a leader in the industry, but also jeopardizes its long-term viability. Adding to John Deere's challenges is the growing momentum behind the right to repair movement. Farmers have become increasingly frustrated with John Deere's restrictive repair policies, which require them to rely on authorized dealers for repairs. These policies often make it more expensive and time-consuming for farmers to maintain their equipment. The right to repair movement advocates for farmers' ability to repair their own machinery without relying on John Deere's proprietary tools and software. As the movement gains traction, it has put additional pressure on John Deere to change its business practices. John Deere's resistance to the right to repair movement has led to legal battles and further strained its relationship with its core customer base. Many farmers, already disillusioned by rising equipment costs, are now questioning their loyalty to the brand. Competitors that offer more repair-friendly options are beginning to attract customers who are frustrated with John Deere's policies. This erosion of trust poses a significant threat to John Deere's future. The challenges facing John Deere extend beyond the company itself. If John Deere cannot overcome these obstacles, it could have far-reaching consequences for the agricultural sector. Farmers depend on John Deere's machinery to maintain productivity and profitability. A decline in John Deere's operations could lead to a reduction in the availability of reliable equipment, leaving farmers with fewer options and higher costs. This, in turn, could drive up food prices and create instability in the agricultural supply chain. The ripple effects of John Deere's struggles are a stark reminder of the interconnected nature of the global economy. Policies such as tariffs, while intended to protect domestic industries, can have unintended consequences that ripple through entire sectors. For John Deere, the combination of rising production costs, declining farmer incomes, and strained customer relationships has created a dire situation. While the company has weathered challenges in the past, the current circumstances present a unique set of difficulties that threaten its future. John Deere's ability to recover will depend on its leadership's willingness to adapt, innovate, and rebuild trust with its customer base. This will require a comprehensive strategy that addresses not only the immediate financial challenges, but also the broader issues affecting the agricultural industry. Whether John Deere can rise above these challenges, or whether this marks the beginning of the end for the company, remains to be seen. One of the critical lessons from John Deere's current predicament is the importance of foresight and adaptability in business. When the tariffs were first introduced, they were intended to protect companies like John Deere. However, the full consequences of these policies were not entirely understood at the time. In hindsight, it is clear that John Deere could have taken a more proactive approach to mitigate the risks associated with the tariffs. This might have included diversifying its supply chain, exploring alternative markets, or investing in cost reduction strategies. As John Deere faces increasing financial pressure, it is worth considering what the company can do to turn things around. One potential solution is to embrace the right to repair movement and address the concerns of farmers. by making its equipment more accessible for repairs, John Deere could rebuild trust with its customers and strengthen its position in the market. Another critical step is to invest in innovation. Despite the financial challenges, John Deere cannot afford to fall behind in technological advancements. The company must find a way to fund research and development to remain competitive. John Deere's current situation also underscores the need for collaboration between industry and government. While the tariffs were intended to protect American businesses, their implementation created unintended consequences that hurt both John Deere and its customers. Moving forward, policymakers and industry leaders must work together to develop solutions that support domestic industries without creating unnecessary economic burdens. John Deere has a long history of resilience and innovation. While the challenges it currently faces are significant, the company has the potential to recover and thrive once again. However, this will require bold leadership, strategic decision-making, and a willingness to adapt to the evolving needs of the agricultural industry. The story of John Deere serves as a cautionary tale about the complexities of global trade and the importance of balancing short-term gains with long-term sustainability. Whether John Deere can overcome these challenges and secure its future remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the decisions made in the coming years will shape not only the fate of John Deere, but also the broader agricultural sector it serves.